Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Capitalize Your Best podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, and this show is part of the larger Capitalize Your Best podcast network of shows. On Monday, we have This Is Going to Hurt, which is about personal growth. Tuesday is Coach Training Partners, which is helping coaches grow their revenue. Today, Wednesday, is the Capitalize Your Best show, which is about marketing and business growth. Thursday is our live coaching call, and Friday is You're Entitled to Your Opinion, which is our fun review show. But today we're going to hop right into it, friends. We are honored to have my friend Tuan Nguyen with us. Now, Tuan is the CEO of Premier Excel Coaching. He is the right now best-selling author from Prison to Purpose, and he's also been a friend of mine now for about 3 years. And we are honored to get his time because I'm telling you what, this guy is burning things up right now. So, Tuan, thanks so much for being with us, man. I'm so glad you're here.
Super excited to be in the room with you, Gordon Duncan.
Well, man, let me just start by just acknowledging you. Now, guys, I have mentioned show after show, social media, about how at one point in time I made a huge investment, an investment to create the Capitalize Your Best program. I took money out of the bank. I took a risk, and Tuan, you and our friend Corey poured into me. We worked together for over a year, and you guys just helped me create that program. Capitalize Your Best has gone on to just multiply hundreds of folks. So I just want to acknowledge you, man. Thank you. I could not have done what I've done without your help. It's been wonderful, your partnership, and so I'm excited to get a moment to just hear from you now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, the good news is you actually put in the work, Gordon. Because the thing is this, you can have access to so much material
Mhm.
content. And I would say the greatest separation from someone that actually succeeds in building this type of business, especially with coaching, marketing, speaking, is actually putting in the work. So I commend you for actually following through, Gordon. But I'm excited. I'm excited to just really kind of hop on this call and just really, man, add value to your
Yeah.
audience, but also kind of share a little bit about what God's doing in my life. It's funny, Gordon. This morning, I created this post, and it says, "A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men."
Saw that.
Charles Spurgeon said it best. He says, "Your gift is the key that unlocks doors your resume never could." And
I
he was
love
right.
that. I love that. It's funny. I get up every morning, I do my journaling, I do my prayer, and then I write out my affirmations. And I create a series of affirmations specific for the year. And one of those affirmations this year, I write down every morning, is I am surrounded by smart, wise, and wealthy people who happily pour into my life daily.
Wow.
And what that does is, one, gets me in front of you because I'm like, you know what, that we're making that happen. But it also reminds me every day, what am I doing to sit with wise people and hey, who are happy to share wisdom with me. And then it also reminds me I need to continue to do the same. So that's the place of life it seems like you're in right now, Tuan. Like, you're getting that chance to sit with people and just share your wisdom. What's that feel like for you right now, man?
There's a lot of days where I don't feel qualified, if
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. And
Mm-hmm.
God reminds me that He doesn't always call the qualified, and He actually is the one that qualifies you to,
Right.
be amongst um, some of the people that I've been able to connect with. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a really cool journey. I started this online coaching thing 7 years ago, and I was serving a 16-year prison sentence.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
selling drugs, which was a product. I always tell people I knew who my avatar was. They worked every single
Right.
day. They had a paycheck on Friday. That was my best marketing day because as long as I had the goods, they had a payment. And I spent about 9.5 years in and out of prison. And that's when I
Mm.
discovered, are you familiar with John Maxwell, Gordon?
Yeah, I went through the coaching program. That's where we initially connected. Corey and I connected through it. So yeah, man, I sure
Yeah.
did. Now, and you found that in prison, Twan?
I found John Maxwell through a book, and I was watching VHS tapes. Anybody still remember VHS
Yeah,
tapes?
yeah, man. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the story of John speaking to an audience of 5,000 people. And a young man comes up to me and he says, "John, I've been watching you all morning. I love what you do. You're transforming lives. You're talking leadership. You're making everyone laugh." And I gotta say, my dream is to do what you do. And here I am in prison, Gordon, searching for purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
I am a believer. My mom prayed for me for 18 years to come to faith, and that started the journey. But then I was thinking to myself, what do I what do I do when I get out? I didn't want to settle for like a 9 to 5 job. I had like this crazy background with like 8 felony degrees,
Mm,
first felonies. And I knew that if I wanted my circumstances to change, I would have to start developing skill sets. Okay.
hmm
If you want to increase your worth in the marketplace, I always share with entrepreneurs that I talk to is you have to have, number one, high impact skill sets. And
hmm
number two, you have to have a solution, right? And the combination of having new skill sets and then also providing solutions in the marketplace will increase your worth so that you can grow your impact, your influence, and then also turn your passion into profit.
Love it.
I'll never forget what John Maxwell said to that young man. He said,
What was
"Dreams
that?
don't impress me."
Wow. hmm
What he said, "What does impress me is what are you willing to give up to go up?"
Yeah, yeah.
And that was kind of like the journey. I just knew that if I wanted a different life, I would have to make different decisions. And a lot of that required me to take a bet on myself and take some risk, some calculated risks.
hmm
And because of that, today I get to not only have I grown a pretty successful coaching business in the past maybe 4 to 5 years, and today I work very closely with the CEO of John Maxwell, and it's
Amazing.
really crazy. I just launched this book that we'll probably kind of talk about.
Yep, yep,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, Twan, you did what you commended me for just a minute ago. I mean, like you put in the work. I mean, you were like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to. You wanted to create a certain life for yourself when you got out of prison. You saw what John, and then you went and put in the work. You went and found the resources, got in front of the people who could help you do it, and then you put in the work. So since you mentioned it, it sounds like now you've put in the work to create a book to speak to more people who are in your similar situation. Is that right?
Yep.
Tell us about the book. Tell us about the book.
So this book here, it's called The Ultimate Prison to Purpose Playbook. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Subheadline is Secrets, Insider Secrets to Influence, Impact, and Income After Incarceration. So
Wow. Mm-hmm.
a series of I's there. This book was 7 years in the making. And so when I first got out, I had a pretty cool testimony. I was getting some pretty cool success with the coaching. And everybody used to say, Twan, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. So I did. I
Mm-hmm.
was part of an author collaboration. It's called like an anthology, I think.
Sure.
And so I wrote my first chapter in this book with 20 other different authors.
Mm-hmm.
That one book reached 5 best-selling categories, right?
Wow.
Which was really great, Gordon. But what I found is that one chapter didn't really give me enough credibility.
That makes sense. Sure.
And so it was a great experience, but I didn't have my own unique mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't until year 7 of me just being out of prison and creating a little bit of success where I had that idea that if I were to write a book, who would be my target audience? That would be key. And I knew that I would need more than just a testimony. I would need to create a framework. I needed a roadmap. Because after a while, most people outside of your family and stuff, they want to hear your story. But after that, they want to know exactly how can you help them achieve a
Right.
certain level of success.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started just thinking into it, I was like, you know what? My target audience is the men and women that are sitting behind bars right now that were lost just like me. They were looking for purpose. They were looking beyond their mistakes and they were asking God, is it possible for me to succeed
Mm-hmm.
upon being released from prison? And so this book right here is 10 chapters of everything that I've learned in the past 7 years of just launching, growing a coaching business. I spent maybe $150,000 just on mentorship alone. And I thought, I'm going to pack that into this book right here.
Yeah.
And that was the end in mind was I wanted to get this book inside every single prison in America.
Twan, what do you think? I mean, while you're working through creating a framework and creating this big vision, what do you feel like you learned about yourself in the midst of the creation of the book? I mean, you've created this framework. Like, what did you discover about yourself in the midst of the creation?
I discovered that I have so much in me, and I realized that, you know, just putting everything on paper or at least on a Google Doc was very challenging, right? Without
Mm-hmm.
having like a mentor to kind of guide me through the book writing process. There were many days where I tried to do it alone, but I've
Mm-hmm.
learned that you got to pay for speed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I've learned. I've learned that there's two ways you can find mentors. Number one, you can seek to serve, which is great. I found some great mentors that mentored me on this journey. But I also realized that sometimes you have to pay for mentorship, and
Yes.
it
Yeah.
increases your speed because now you're paying to learn a shortcut. You're paying to learn a faster path.
Right.
So I realized that when I first started this book journey, it took me about 3 months.
Okay.
It took me about 3 months of starting, finishing, and then actually launching.
Okay.
Yep.
You're right. I mean, I would share that similar story by working with you, and is that I was trying to. I had been consulting in some way for 10, 15 years when before I started working with you, but I didn't have a program, a system, and that's what it was. I mean, I was working on it and working on it, and then when I worked with you guys, it was like, you know what, I got to make a revenue off this thing to get back in my investment. And the only way to do that is to find the speed that I could purchase your experience instead of me trying to figure out the 7.5 years to get there and then purchase Corey's or the other people in the system. And so you're exactly right. We don't have to wait 10 years to learn those skills anymore. We can purchase those 10 years worth of skills by either partnership or mentorship. And when we do that, we have a greater chance of achieving the things that we believe we're called to achieve. So
Absolutely.
so now is that what you're trying to do by putting the book into the prison system?
Yeah. I'm kind of like that person that like likes to jump and then I'll eventually kind of figure it out. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the perfectionist. I like to kind of build my wings on the way down.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
it's I launched it just a couple weeks ago on my birthday. It was January 21st. And I also want to share this. You have to have narratives, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One thing you have to understand in online marketing, whether you're looking to grow a coaching business or just your business in general, you have to understand that it's all about creating different narratives throughout the quarters. So for me, I could have launched it outside of my birthday, but I thought if I launched on my birthday, I could actually raise more awareness because the
Yeah.
ultimate
Yeah.
goal
Yeah.
is what? I want to get this book inside every single prison in
Amazing.
America. The narrative would be around that is this is not going to be for everyone on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but you can actually donate towards
I
a
love that.
library.
Well, that's been inspiring to me. I'll share that with you in a minute. What's happened just in the last week since you and I've spoken. But you're right now looking for partners for people to purchase copies of your book, so then you can get them into the prison system. Is that correct?
Yep. So they actually get to participate where they can donate books, and I invite them to come inside with me where they actually have an opportunity maybe to share their testimony, or they can
Mm-hmm.
come sit in one of our events, and they can actually be a part of passing out the books to the men and women.
Amazing, amazing. Have that? And you just launched on the 21st. When will you, or have you already been able to start delivering books yet?
February 21st is going to be our first unit. It's
Love it.
300 to 400 women.
Woo! And you've
We're
got
hosting.
300, 400 books for them.
No, we don't have 300 and 400 books for this unit. The books, they
We're
kind
gonna
of,
have to get on that, everybody. Everybody needs
yeah.
right now. Everybody needs to contact Tuan and get those 300 books in there. But go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be our first leadership conference at this unit. My goal
Love
is
it.
this. I want to create the greatest leadership revival in prisons ever. And I want to
Mm,
use this as a roadmap of what's possible if you invest in certain skill sets such as communication. I want the men and women to believe that they are worthy to lead, and God has created them to be a leader. It
mm.
might not be speaking on big stages, but you are called to lead in some capacity. I want them to be able to see that they are worthy of that.
Well, I mean, we've both been mentored by John in some way, and he'll say over and over again, everything rises and falls on leadership. And we own that in our own stories first, right? Had I had different leadership, I might have made different choices. But then we get to own as an adults, even youth, like what does it look like for me to be a leader, no matter what? How do I use this story of mine to then be a leader and influence others? So at this event, you said 300 to 400. What are some of the things that you're going to be sharing with them in that first event?
I think number one is just really helping them understand their why on why they want to become a leader. And then
Mm-hmm.
two, cultivating a vision for personal growth and development just through where they're currently at. Some of these women, they've been in prison for 5, 10, some 20 years. Some of them
Wow.
are already in leadership positions, but I really want to help them define what leadership is and then also help them understand that there's many paths to success. And just because I have a certain level of success doesn't mean that that's going to be the same path that they take, right? There's many different ways we can define success. I want to be able to come in and help them understand what that could possibly look like once they get out.
Mm. So who's going to be doing it with you? Are you you're the main speaker, I imagine? Do you have other speakers with you on this event?
So with this event, we're going to actually rebroadcast Live to Lead. So which is that's a
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah.
yeah. So Live to Lead is an annual conference that's live that John Maxwell
Mhm.
hosts in Orlando, featuring some really high level speakers. We get to bring that into prison. So out
I
of
love it.
60,000 coaches across the globe, there's only 250 of us that actually have exclusive licensed content to
Mhm.
actually bring into the prisons.
Love it.
I'm the first one to actually do it in prison, so we're just
Wonderful.
creating a huge leadership revival right now.
Wow. Well, I mean, Tuan, you keep hitting these first. You're going to do this, the largest leadership movement within the penitentiary system, live to lead for the first time in this book. If you could see what the impact is going to be a year from now, a year from the book launch, what would you hope would be the practical output of this work and this vision of yours a year from now?
In a year from now, I would love to be able to host as many Live to Lead conferences in Texas. Starting off
Wonderful.
with Texas, we
Mhm.
have one of the biggest prison populations. I don't even know how many units we have, but it's a lot. The second phase would actually be able to go in there and actually equip the wardens and their top ranking
Mhm.
officers with leadership and team development too, because everything rises from the top. So even though we might be focusing on the inmate population, if we can't cultivate this vision for upper staff to see the potential in the men and women, then what's going to happen is there's still going to be a lack of leadership hunger throughout the year.
Sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. And then you're presently having folks partner with you with putting the books into the system. If someone wanted to work with you, and we'll put this in the show notes, but just kind of tell us right now, if someone wanted to work with you to purchase copies of your book to get into the system, how would they do that?
They can go to the Ultimate Prison of Purpose Playbook.com.
Love it.
Yep. On
Okay.
there, it's going to highlight everything that we do, how they can actually donate,
Mhm.
and then how those books can actually benefit which units that we're going to be going into.
Well, I love that. Tuan, you and I were talking, I think it was just a week ago. And, providentially, you, Corey, and I, we all released book within 60 days of each other. Like, God's just doing this movement. And I've been working through like what the same this narrative, this mission with the book. And so there's been a book club that's popped up with my daily reader, which has been really great. And thank you, by the way, for purchasing a copy. That meant a lot to me. But then after I got off that call with you, it just hit me. So I was a teacher in an alternative school right out of college. So every one of my kids to get there had to have been expelled from public school. And I was 23. I thought I was Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds. You know what I'm saying? I loved it, right? I was just doing that thing. And it hit me. I was like, that's where I can go with my book.
Mm.
There's 5,800 alternative schools in the country, and what if those kids had that book in their hands? So I just launched that campaign just a couple of days ago, and I've got a big campaign that we're launching with it early next week to make it go a little bit broader than just my social media. So I want to say thank you. I've been looking for that mission aspect to go with the book. and it just made sense. I mean, I was a teacher, and that was my context. I want to get back to that context. So I want to say thank you, and that's just another way in which what you're doing is multiplying. First of all, with what you and I did with Capitalize Your Best, and now with the book. So thank you so much for that.
I appreciate you for sharing that because I think that's where the key is. Someone was asking me the other day, they said, Twan, how are you getting so much traction with your book and
Mhm.
donations? I had someone reach out to me and say, I want to donate 1,000 books.
Woo. Mm.
And it blew my mind to see someone reach out to me and say that. Then I had another person say, hey, I have access to 20,000 inmates in Alabama prisons. I want to
Mhm.
partner up with you because I want to get your books in there.
Yeah.
And then I paused for in my I paused and I thought, like, how are these people surrounding me? Of course, it's a God thing, right? God's grace will
Mhm.
provide. But it dawned on me when your vision is so clear and you're so driven by your mission, it's going to attract the
It
right
will.
people. And here's what I want you guys to take away from it is it's very important to have a mission, a bigger why than just the money aspect, the eternal return of investment. That's what I want you to really think about. And what happens is you have to continue telling your story over and over and over and over.
Mhm.
Your story only gets old to you.
Mhm. That's
And
right. That's right.
sometimes that person, maybe they didn't catch it the first time.
Mhm.
Maybe they didn't
Mhm.
catch it the second time. But on that
Well,
third time,
I mean, we both have got this mission that we want to give back, but it reminds me. I mean, you guys have told the story of early on you were taking burger coupons to as payment for your coaching, right?
yep.
And I remember sitting going like, "Do I have that?" And yeah, when I started, um, uh, I pawned jewelry
Oh, wow.
to buy my business license for my company. I didn't have the money. I mean, we're not
Yeah.
even talking. I mean, what was it, $179? And I didn't have an extra $179.
Yeah.
And whenever I think people are tired of that story, I hope you can still hear me, Tuan. I think we're frozen a little bit here. Whenever I think people are tired of that story, I know they're not, because either they haven't heard it or they're then inspired to then go out and do it for themselves. So, well, Tuan, looks like we're having some technical difficulty. I can still hear you. I hope you can still hear me.
Yeah, I
Um,
still hear you.
if you would, real quick, could you share with everyone how to contact you before we wrap up?
Yeah, you can go to www.theultimateprisonerpurposeplaybook.com, or you can find me on Instagram. My hashtag is kingdom.impact21.
Love it. Well, we're going to send everybody there. Tuan, forgive the difficulties here at the end. I do want to say thank you so much. Thank you for pouring into me. Thank you for just being available if I ever need to reach out. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure you make that impact. Okay.
Let's do it.
Tuan, thanks so much. We'll talk again soon. Okay.
All right, Gordon.
Thanks, friend. Bye bye.